Check it out, guys. My coaxial 10s looking better than ever. Tweeters, beautiful combination right here. 3-way chuchero box. Gonna show you guys how to wire it up. This is a 700 watt mid, 200 watt driver, 3-inch voice coil, neodymium magnet. Very, very loud. You know, these speakers, Pro Audio 10-inch coaxials, I am using these speakers. I am selling these speakers for that Pro Audio natural crystal clear sound. Of course, it comes down to system install, head units, wiring, processing, everything like that. But it's a great speaker, and I hope, well, not that I hope, I shouldn't say I hope. I know this speaker will become very popular. And one day at a time, working on it. But look, ooh, carbon fiber, full carbon fiber cone. That's how I feel about this speaker. Once you hear this speaker in person, you're gonna feel the same way. But anyways, let's get busy. We are going to have 3 sets of wires. 1 set for the mids, 1 set for the driver, 1 set for the tweeter. Those wires are going to be connected to a Nutric connector. Let me show you guys what that looks like. I have one right here that I'm using for this box. This right here, okay? Quality plugs, no cheap bullshit. And respect your clients. When they send you money to buy things, to get a project going, don't cheap out. You know, things as simple as this. This means nothing to some people, but in the audio world, this will make or break your system if it's installed incorrectly or if something goes bad. But anyway, let's continue. Get this tweeter out of here. My tweeters come with caps on them. If you're using a DSP, you could toss that cap. I'm not sure what this guy is doing, but I'm gonna leave the caps on there. Capacitors filter out low frequencies that might damage the voice coil. You do not want your voice coils in tweeters to be damaged. They are very, very soft and they will blow easily. With the wrong amount of power, with dirty power, tweeters are not going to last. These are 100 watts, 50 RMS. I do not know who needs to hear this. Those tweeters that are rated 500 watts, if you put 500 watts to that voice coil, I promise you, it's gonna get smoked. Don't fall for the tricks, man. 50 RMS, clean, beautiful power, gives you that clean, crisp sound. That's what we all need. That's what we all aim for. And don't get me wrong, using tweeters and drivers and speakers from other brands, you could hit that goal easily. People have been doing it for years. But I'm changing the game up. Coaxials, these slot high frequency tweeters, I just love them. You know, growing up, getting into audio, Bema was my favorite brand, and I just loved all their products. I had many Bema products, and I just like quality. I can't settle for anything less. Has to be quality. Especially when you're building something for a product. That build, who knows how long it'll take. So, quality is everything. But anyways, let's get started. I've been chatting a lot. Being here by myself, I have no one else to talk to, so I just like to yap. But showed you guys the plug. Let me get the wiring and get started. Speaker wire, we are using Nemesis Audio. Got the hole drilled out for the speak on. It has to be tight, okay? If it's not tight, it's not right. It's pretty tight. You do not want this to be loose. You're gonna have problems and your system's gonna look like shit. The mid-range has its own coil. The driver has its own coil. 2 sets of speaker wires, 1 each. 16 gauge speaker wire for the driver, and we're doing 14 gauge speaker wire for the mid. Once you have the speaker wire done, you're going to run it about 4 inches out of the hole and then cut it for each wire. The wires, driver, speaker, going back. So it's pretty simple. Each chamber is sealed off. Right, so there's a small hole right there that allows wires to go through. You can make that hole anywhere you wish. Some people use V's, and the V's are open on the top, so it just depends what you're using. But pass the wire through like that, and then through the other side right there. Simple thing. All right, all the excess you want to just run it through, obviously, one at a time. This one's thick. All right, just like that. Not too much strain on the wiring. You do not want these wires popping out, so not too much strain. Little excess, drop it in. This one's good to go. Time for tweeters. For tweeters, it's pretty simple. I'm running these in series. Positive, 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 negative, negative, negative. All right, so the way I do that, I just daisy chain them. Filter to filter, negative to negative, and then we go to the speak on. I can't really show you guys how I do the wiring right now because my tripod broke and I don't have another one. So I'm just working with what I have today. But I'm gonna do it and get right back to you guys. Negative, positive, negative, positive. I wrap the metal leads in tester tape to avoid any burnouts. All right, once this is done, as you see, series, 1 wire goes out to the speak on. Do that same hole right there. 1 speaker left, and then we move on to the plug. Last speaker wired up. You button the box up, make sure, test each wire for output. You don't want to put the screws in and you have no output. Test and then screw. 3 sets of wires, speaker, tweeter, driver. You're going to tin each wire with solder. This is what I meant by tinning wires, if someone didn't know. You simply just put a little bit of solder on the wire so it's easier for you to connect to the new trick. One connector has 1 through 4. 1 positive, 1 negative, through 4 positive, 4 negative. You're going to match the wires to a number. So what I do is mids would be 1, tweeters would be 2, and if you have drivers in the box like we do, it would be 3. Tin these terminals on the speak on. Little bit of solder, 1, 2, 3, easy. Speak on, we have 1 through 3 soldered on, and as you can see, the terminals are close, but the wires are locked in. So you could put heat shrink to just to ensure nothing touches, but I just want to show you guys how it looks without the heat shrink. So goes into the hole, nice and easy, and you just put your screws in, and you have a complete chuchero. I buy this cable by hundreds of feet, so I cut it per box. I do about 10 to 12 feet per cable. So what you want to do is just measure it out, or if you have your cable pre-cut, just wait for the next step. But 10 to 12 feet, measure it out, chop it. There. Last step, putting on the female speak on to the wire, which plugs in to that. Pretty simple. Crack it open. Don't drop it. Oh, gosh. Must cut the wire at a certain length, which is about right over here. I'm cutting this much jacket off, which is gonna give me the exposed wire. Once the plug is all put together, this blue piece ends at the top, and you want the jacket to fill the hole. You don't want the wires to be exposed. It just doesn't look right. Nothing will happen, but visually, aesthetically, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work for me. It may not work for you. So just go ahead. Be careful not to score the wires. If you do, cut it, start again. No room for error here. Like I said, about this much I'm taking off, so just cut the jacket. Easy. If you're using a blade like this, probably go down like maybe 1/8. Cut the jacket. Do what you gotta do. Sometimes you are required to solder the speaker wires into the speak-on, but this one is using screws. They're using screws. So once you have the wire cut like this, remember 6 total wires, so you could trim the extra 2. You're going to strip the wires like this. And what you're gonna do is select a pair of colors for each number. So I usually do 1, 2, and 3. Mids, tweeter, driver. And you're just going to simply screw each wire into each spot. +1, in my case, would go to red. -1 would go to black. +2, yellow. -2, white, and so on. I cut the wires this length for a reason. The terminals where you input the wires are very small, so obviously you can't cut the wire too long, it just won't fit. And you do not want any exposed wiring inside of this plug. This plug could move around a lot. If there's any loose wire, your amps are not gonna like you. Wires are in. Now you assemble the plug. 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. This part protects the wire, keeps it straight. Goes onto there, mounts on to the speak-on top, the top of the speak-on. This simply goes from the front up. This goes from the back down. Simply, the points face up. Just wrap it around the wire, get it down. It's going to sit in place just like this. It's holding the wire from bending too much. And then this piece goes on the front. There are grooves. There are 3 grooves on the Nutric plug. You're going to threads up. It's going to slide right in. You just need to match up the grooves. Big and small, small to big, whatever you want to do. But line it up. Alright, this top part slides in from the top of the wire all the way down. Slide it, slide it, slide it. And then it locks in from the top. Let's just make sure this is seated in properly. And just twist it on. Just like that, guys. Chuchero box is done. Boom. Camera died, but here's the final look. Wire, box, ready to go. The winner's actually about to come pick it up. So he entered 3 times and a total of $75 won him this box. I'm telling you, man, You gotta take the opportunities once they arise. This box is worth a lot. He won it for $75. You're welcome. This one's for sale, and I have a few available to build. Follow my Instagram at SlamDeanCustoms, same as my YouTube. I post a bit more content on there in terms of products. But if you're locked in on YouTube, we're locked in. I appreciate the support. And like I mentioned before, questions, tips, I'm open. I love learning and I love helping people.